When I found out about this story right here, I said I'm gonna speak on it, but also shout out to the subscribers of mine who did tag me in a post or send me an email letting me know about the particular story. So this man's name is Christopher Hasson, and as you can see right next to the picture, he's standing next to a U.S. Coast Guard ship. That is because he is a Coast Guard officer. But that's not all he is. This man could have been a domestic terrorist because, according to the New York Times, Christopher Hasson plotted to kill Democrats and other journalists. And y'all should see the arsenal that this man had laid out. I'm talking about all types of artillery. We're talking about automatic weapons, shotguns, handguns, probably some bombs, bulletproof vest, some nightsticks, like the whole nine. But you gotta think, him being in the Coast Guard, it wouldn't be hard for him to get access to a lot of those particular weapons. Now, like I said, he was a Coast Guard officer, which is a pretty much, you can say, a part of the military. And he was going to plot to kill Democrats and other journalists. The fact that it said he was going to plot to kill Democrats lets me know which way he leaned politically, and that it was definitely conservative, right wing leaning, probably Trump supporter. I'm going to go ahead and read this article. It says a Coast Guard lieutenant and self-described white nationalist who was arrested in Maryland last week. Now, this was last week, and they're just now reporting it today. Was plotting to kill a long list of prominent journalists and Democratic politicians, as well as professors, judges, and what he called leftists in general, federal prosecutors said in a court filing. Lieutenant Christopher Paul Hasson was arrested Friday on charges of illegal gun possession, but prosecutors said in a filing on Tuesday that the charges were just the proverbial tip of the iceberg. So this was okay. So this happened last week, and they just arrested him last Friday. And we're just learning about it today, Wednesday, a whole week later, basically, since everything went out. Okay, it says, in the filing, which argues that Lieutenant Hasson should be held until he is tried, prosecutors described him as a domestic terrorist. Never did I think that I'd ever see the day where they would actually label a white man a terrorist, domestic or otherwise. And said he intended to murder innocent civilians on a scale rarely seen in this country. Prosecutors quoted a letter to friends that he drafted in 2017 and that the authorities found on his computer. In it, Lieutenant Hasson, who works as an acquisitions officer at Coast Guard headquarters in Washington, wrote, "I am dreaming of a way to kill almost every last person on Earth. I think a plague would be the most successful, but how do I acquire the needed Spanish flu, botulism, anthrax? Not sure yet, but we'll find something." Just reading that alone as an excerpt sounds creepy. It makes you scared to see what else he wrote in that letter. In the last month, prosecutors said the lieutenant drew up a list of prominent figures he called traitors and wanted to kill, including many well-known anchors and hosts on the CNN and MSNBC news networks and a number of Democratic elected officials. The list included, among others, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Maxine Waters, Senator Richard Blumenthal, whom he referred to as Sin Bloomin' Jew, and many of the senators running for president. Let me stop right there. You saw how he used that word Jew. Now, to the Jewish community, if you can watch my video, or if you can hear this, are y'all gonna report him to the Anti-Defamation League? Because I would like to know. Because you always like to say black people are the most anti-Semitic, and he planned on saying he was going to kill some people that identified as Jewish. I just want to know, are you going to report him? Let's see. And he said, and many other senators running for president. He had recently performed internet searches seeking information about whether senators and Supreme Court justices received Secret Service protection. In the letter quoted by prosecutors, Lieutenant Hasson wrote about wanting to start a race war. Here we go. And pondered the best way to do it. Much blood will have to be spilled to get Whitey off the couch, he wrote. He mused about taking advantage of some already tense issue, like the 2016 standoff between an Oregon protesters and the Bureau of Land Management. Please send me your violence, that I may unleash it unto their heads. Guide my hate to make a lasting impression on this world, he said in a letter. So this guy just sounds like one who he's just crying, he's just craving for attention to me, because it says that he wants to kill every last person in the world. He wants it to be like a plague, even though they're going through their own plague right now, which of course is the opioid, plague. I refuse to call it a crisis or an epidemic, because that means I'd have to give a damn about it, and I don't. I feel nothing on it. But this guy, I've talked about people like him on my channel before, but this one's very special because of his mindset. Like, most domestic terrorists only have a particular target that they're going after. This guy said he wants to wipe out the world. He's already knocking on the door labeled crazy. Of course, I will not just label this man crazy. I will say he's definitely in his right mind. I don't give a damn if they say he had a mental illness or not. Let's see here. Lieutenant Hasson served in the Marine Corps from 1988 to 1993, then approximately 2 years on active duty in the Army National Guard. He held his Coast Guard job since 2016. He began stockpiling weapons in 2017, the authority said. When his cramped basement apartment in Silver Spring, Maryland was searched, they said federal agents found a cache of 15 assault rifles, shotguns, and handguns, and more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition that the lieutenant had amassed over the course of 2 years. A Coast Guard spokesman confirmed on Wednesday that one of his service members had been arrested but declined to comment on the case. Because this is an open investigation, the Coast Guard has no further details at this time, the spokesman said. Interesting. All I can say is that the only thing that shocked me the most about this entire article is the fact that he was called a domestic terrorist, or a potential domestic terrorism, because he didn't actually carry out his plan. But let me see if I can pull up a picture of all the weapons that he has so you can get a glimpse of what he was working with. Okay, here it is. Here's the picture I was describing. Look at all these weapons, and these were all confiscated, from his basement. So it's like you have some automatic weapons here. You have some bulletproof vests. I see a sniper rifle, a shotgun, some nightsticks, some handguns, shotguns, all the ammunition rounds. I don't know, it might be some explosives in there too. Like, the guy was prepared to go to war, like he said in this letter. And they always like to keep eyes on us. The guy said he wanted to go after political figures as well as journalists, but most of all, he said he wanted to start a race war. And he said he wanted to kill everyone on Earth. I mean, it can't get much more terroristic than that. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.